And good afternoon, and welcome to a very special edition of a new show that I'm doing here. But we're only doing it during Steeler afternoon games. It's called the Post Game Show, and that's with myself and my good buddy from Niagara Falls, New York. But he's visiting in PA today. He's visiting his mom, Steve Spates. And welcome to today's panel, Bubba Brewer from the 3Bs podcast. And also from Wrestle Talk, our show we do on Thursday about professional wrestling. All right, guys, let's break this game down here. I said this many times, it's better to be lucky than good, and the Steelers definitely got lucky today, guys. We'll start with you, Bubba.
Oh, luck ain't the word. I mean, our defense kept us in the game all game long. But, hey, Ralph, this offensive line is just not doing it for me.
No, it's not. Not at all. Steve? What do you think?
Well, like I said before, let me use another analogy here. If you ever got off an airplane and a jet and you're walking and you're in a vacation place and you're going, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And that's a good thing. The Steeler game is like watching someone get physically sick on the street. And I'm like, I can't believe I saw that. I mean, it's like Taylor Swift kissing Travis Kelce, which I really don't want to see either. So go ahead. I can't believe it. Years of therapy, Ralph. I'm going to need it.
There you go. Once again, it was a low-scoring game. My prediction was 9-6. I said either way, the Ravens or the Steelers. Turned out to be a 17-10 game. Only thing is, John Harbaugh, as Steve was mentioning on the as we were getting ready to come on the show, John Harbaugh really messed up today, and the Ravens made a lot of mistakes, which led to the Steeler victory. And thank goodness we have our defense the way it is, because if we had a defense that wasn't the way it is, we would have really been in trouble. We'll start with you, Steve.
You can only do so much on defense. This team, last week the defense took it on the chops, but I go, it's going to happen in this league. You cannot keep depending on your defense to hold teams under 20 points. You guys look at the final scores around the league. Look at the scores. So the defense, TJ Watt, I really will feel sad if he doesn't win a Super Bowl ring, because that guy does deserve it. And Highsmith, thumbs up to him. And Joey Porter Jr., hey, the guy can play.
Yeah, when he finally plays. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on with him. I have to find that out from a couple of my Steeler experts. But Matt Canada saved his job for another day. Bubba, go ahead with your comments.
Well, it was Kenny Pickett that saved his job in that last 4 minutes, I believe, because when I was coming home, I could hear the boos on DVE and Fire Matt Canada chants. And I was like, wow, it was getting bad down there. So... But I'm glad they won, though. It's Christmas, in October.
Yeah, that's it. There you go, Steve.
Well, as I was saying that, I think we said this earlier before we got on the air. I was remarking to my mom that anytime Gunnar Olszewski has the ball, something bad happens. And it did, but if it wasn't for that play, maybe we're talking about the Steelers losing if you consider what happened.
Yes.
Because I said if they don't score here any points, they're going to lose the game. And guess what?
Right.
They lost the game. Thanks to Gunnar.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was crazy. I'll tell you another thing, guys. And you have to admit, I never seen somebody throw their helmet to the ground so many times like Lamar Jackson. Oh, my gosh. Bubba, did you see that? What's your thoughts on Lamar Jackson, man?
I did see it. But, guys, now he's 2-4 against us. The Steelers is his kryptonite.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. You're right. And you know what? It was kind of strange because we haven't seen Lamar Jackson since 2019 against the Steelers. Yeah. He hasn't started because he's always been hurt. And it was interesting to see what he would do because it was all this big thing about Tom Monken being the new offensive coordinator, former Auburn coach. And he was supposed to supposedly get him to start learning how to pass better and things like that. And that was the reason why Greg Roman got fired was because, John Harbaugh wanted to have Lamar Jackson become a better quarterback. So that's why he hired Monken. And, so Monken, he's a good coach. I mean, like I said, he was the coach at Auburn. He was once a high school coach, and he was good at recruiting. So Auburn brought him in to recruit. He was there maybe about 3-4 years maybe, and then Auburn started falling apart, and I guess the alum got mad and decided to hire somebody else. So, But anyway, Glenn Thomas will not be calling plays for the Steelers next week. He's the assistant behind Matt Canada. What's you guys' thoughts on Matt Canada's job getting saved for another 2 weeks? Go ahead, Bubba.
Oh, go ahead, Bubba.
He's very lucky today.
Yes. Yeah, the luck of the Irish came out today. Steve, go ahead.
Well, Mike Tomlin's the head coach. Mike Tomlin can 86 this guy at any time, and he's not doing it. Now, Matt Canada will not remind you of Don Coryell. Not even close. It won't even remind you of Don Coryell now, who's dead. Okay, so they need to remove him, but at the end of the season, they've got to have a heart-to-heart, a come-to-Jesus moment. Where is this organization going? Now, I know we're 5 games in. I get it. But, boy, is there anything besides the defense that engenders any confidence that this team can go a mano with the elite teams?
Bubba?
I agree with Steve. He's absolutely right. Like, if we ever get in a shootout, we're done in the first quarter with this offense. It's so inept. It just boggles my mind, and it doesn't pay to get angry anymore like I used to be. But thank God the defense, and if we didn't have T.J. Watt, oh, my God, where would we be?
Oh, absolutely. I have a question for both of you, and let me ask you this. Do you accept mediocrity in your life? We'll start with you, Steve.
Well, I've lived mediocrity, but I don't accept it. No, and mediocrity should never be a standard. You always try to become better.
Right. Okay, Bubba?
I agree with Steve again. I don't want to be mediocre. I always want to be on a higher mountain, always winning.
Well, that's where the Steelers are right now. The Steelers are mediocre. And mediocre Mike is the cause of the problem. And that's where the Steelers are. And that's why I asked you that question. And I believe that Art Rooney II doesn't want to win a Super Bowl, because if he wanted to win a Super Bowl, this guy wouldn't be our head coach right now. Matt Canada wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having all these problems. So, I mean, but again, we got lucky, and we won again today. And I've said it many times, better to be lucky than good. And today the Steelers were lucky. Go ahead, Steve. Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I think that right now, I don't want you guys aren't the false sense of that was a great play by Kenny at the end. I think the best thing to do with Kenny Pickett, Ralph, is not play him until the final 2 minutes of a game if it's close, because that's the only time I go, why can't you do this during? But I'm this game here. If you broke it down, you would have to look up and research Freud and all the psychiatrists and psychologists in the world to find a logic to not only football, but to your life. That's how I leave this game.
Bubba.
Oh, that was great, Steve. I just can't help but just keep watching this team and hoping that the first half of every game for the rest of the season, we can get a field goal. That's all I want, and we can start small with a field goal and then get a touchdown. These last two games in the first half is
sample size.
Yeah, they had 146 yards in the first quarter alone. The Ravens did. Wow.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? My media competition, or our media competition, more or less, in this town, keeps saying about how the Steelers are using sample sizes with Kenny Pickett. I don't want to hear that no more. I don't want no more sample sizes. And it's getting really disgusting. And this offensive line, oh my gosh, they were supposed to be the greatest things in sliced bread, Bubba. And and Steve, we brought Salomalu in, we brought in Herbick, we got Pat Myers, our offensive line coach. I hear Mason Cole's the worst center in the league now.
I agree.
I don't know how that ever happened. Go ahead, Bubba.
They look good on paper. This, in spring. They look good in preseason, but I don't know what happened.
Right.
And they fell off from last year, guys. We were 7-2.
Yes.
We were running the ball, and we added players that we thought were going to strengthen our offensive line, and it depreciated the value of what we have, I guess.
Thank you, Miles Kinnebrud, today also. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing I want to say about the defense, if you can, like I said, get Joey Porter in there, and please replace Levi with Wrangler. I'll go to the store.
If Zay Flowers didn't drop that pass, Steve, I'm sorry to interrupt. If he didn't drop that pass, we would have been in deep doo-doo because I'm going to tell you, he would have went for a touchdown. Wallace got burned again. He gets burned every game. I can't stand that man.
I can't believe he flew back with the Steelers last week because he was burned so bad that there would be a flight risk. I would have left him down in Houston, put him a top down there. Okay, maybe give him a train to come back home, and hopefully the train won't blow up because the guy's still in the locker room, the Steelers locker room. They're washing him down because the flames from being burnt is so bad that people don't know this. They are literally hosing him down. And not because of a Taylor Swift video.
Well, here's the problem, guys, with Levi Wallace. He screws up the whole game, but there's that one big play that he makes in the game that saves his job. And that's what happened in the Raider game because he's getting toasted in the Raider game. Bubba, go ahead.
Well, him and Patrick Peterson. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
He's just terrible. He's just 3 steps behind everybody, and they need to put Porter in there. I mean, they got to put Porter in there, and I seen Martavius Adams at the end of the game running, and I'm not a big Martavius Adams guy.
I can't stand that guy.
I can't believe he even made the team, especially when they got the guy from the Chargers they signed.
Yeah, that for
Hoka. Never
exactly.
Well, he probably won't even get to play the rest of the year. Probably, I don't know.
Okay, Rod Woodson still kind of run up the field because I'd rather take my chance with a 50-something Rod Woodson than Patrick Peterson. Honest to Pete. I mean, it's he was supposed to be a glue guy.
Yes.
It's just gone the other way. It's like a rubber band that broke.
well, guys, I got something for you. Jerry Dulac from the Post-Gazette said yesterday on his report, he does this report before the game. Actually, it was on Friday. They replayed it yesterday. He said that Patrick Peterson was brought in here for veteran leadership. They were only going to use him sparingly, and he agreed to that. He was not supposed to be the starter. Joey Porter Jr. was supposed to be the starter. That was the initial plan. And then all of a sudden now they got Peterson starting, and by the time half the game's over, he's so dead or tired, he doesn't know, whatnot. That wasn't supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen this way. What do you think, Bubba?
Well, he's probably good on his podcast with his cousin, but he's definitely not good. He's definitely not good at covering receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I said something about Peterson in the San Francisco game, Steve.
Well, Peterson, it just sometimes it's like the guns. It's like the Motley Crue analogy. These bands don't have it anymore. He can't sing like he used to. And Patrick Peterson, I'm referring to Vince Neil. Patrick Peterson just can't do. It's like Hugh Hefner using Viagra at 90. It just doesn't work anymore, man. Give it up. Move on.
That's it. There you go. Noel says Kenny Pickett is officially trash. Time to bring back Jamarcus Russell. Am I right, Ralph? No, we can't bring back Jamarcus Russell because he's a bum. And I think right now, I think he's doing some kind of social work or something, I'm told, or something. I don't know. DeMarcus Russell. So
how about playing with 10 guys?
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. I'm going to throw it out there. Go ahead with your rant, Steve. What do you think of today's game and the bye week coming up and everything? What's your thoughts?
Well, thank God for the bye week. And I pray for Lamar Jackson's helmet that it will make the trip to London.
Oh my gosh. How about you, Bubba?
Well, I'm glad we got a victory, but on this bye week we need to heal up. We need to get. I know Austin went to maybe he had a concussion or something happened to Calvin Austin today. We could have used him today, and we definitely need Pat Freiermuth. But hopefully we get everybody back, and we got to go out to Los Angeles though.
Where's Darnell Washington, man? He was supposed to be this big blocker and catch passer. Oh, my gosh, man. Where's Darnell Washington?
They're not using him.
I didn't even see him today. Was he a ghost?
He was there, but they weren't using him.
Yeah, I know.
They weren't using him.
Yeah. So I don't know. They used the wrong personnel. They have no clue what they're doing. They look like they look like a blind man in a silent movie theater.
Yeah,
It's just terrible. So I mean, so all right, let's get into some final thoughts here before we hang it up here. Bubba, go ahead with your final thoughts.
Well, lucky, like you say, it's great to be lucky, and hopefully I don't ever have to work because every time I work, the Steelers' offense is just not very good. So once I'm off work, they come to life. I don't know. They're like zombies. I don't understand it. But I'm happy they won. We're in first place, so, I mean, it is Matt Canada saved his job. Another week. They're not going to get rid of him, but this is going to be every game. We're always going to be talking about this for every game.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
this.
this. We're going to be keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Steve, your final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Well, I'm interested in seeing the. Well, no, I'm not going to bring up Taylor Swift. Forget that. I'm just happy we have a bye week where I can mentally and physically heal from what I just saw, and we just pray that somehow things will get better. Although sometimes God says no. And then we have to go through a bad season. Now, watch what happens this season. And Bubba, it's the same thing. You've seen it. They'll make a run. They're going to go 8-9, and nothing's going to change. Watch.
Yeah, you know it, guys. I got a nugget for you though. This is Mike Tomlin's contract has not been renewed, so he has one more year on his contract. One more year has not been renewed. He has been on a podcast and has said, and I quote, "I'm not even interested in an extension right now. I'm weighing my options." That is what he said on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So
New York Jets.
I'm wondering if
New York Jets. He loves Aaron Rodgers. It's New York Jets.
I didn't even see the score yet, so I don't even know what's going on.
The problem is, Ralph, before you get out of here, it's just it's stale. He's been around too long. Just a little bit stale. I mean, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame, but it's just a little bit. You can't be the rah-rah coach. You got to be like, Chuck Noll. You got to get some discipline. And that's what. Hey,
Bradshaw was right, and everybody criticized Terry. He said he's nothing but a cheerleader, and that's exactly what he is, and that's fine, Mike Tomlin. But you know what? But you know who was the best cheerleader, but he was also a good coach, was Bill Cowher. So yes. I mean, Bill Cowher was always hyped up, always, and it's just we have to do something here. Art Rooney II got to go do the tap on his door like he did to fire Joey Porter Sr. When he was involved in that incident on the South Side, and Mike Tomlin wasn't going to fire him, and he went and he tapped on his door and said, "I want him out of here." Mm-hmm. And when the owner comes and knocks on your door, friendship or not, you got to get him out of here. So I mean, but I hope sooner or later Art Rooney II wakes up and gets this done. Now I have another nugget for you guys. The minority ownership group, okay, the minority part of the ownership group that owns small percentages, okay? There's 25 people in this ownership group. 5 of them have increased their ownership stake. 5. And the rumor I'm hearing now is that these 5 are trying to overtake or try to get more than Art Rooney II so they could fire Tomlin, because the minority ownership wants Tomlin out, but they can't because Art Rooney II holds the highest amount of the ownership. Okay,
wow.
That's like, for instance, the 3 of us. Let's say the 3 of us own, Harris's Grill, okay, or something. But we want a server out, and the 3 of us can't agree on it. But I got the most stake of it, okay. But you guys decide you're going to invest more money and get a higher stake and keep, this server or whatever. That's what they're trying to do, and they've been trying to do it now for 2 years. But finally, 5 of them are now trying to increase their stake.
Wow.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. So they want Tomlin out. So they're trying to increase their stake so that they can say, look, you might have 51%, but I got 51% too, or I got 49, or I'm crawling up there, and I got a vote. You understand what I mean? He holds the voting stock.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a nugget that I have that a lot of people don't.
You always come out with some nuggets, Ralph. You always get the scoop.
Yes, I do.
I think he's going to New York. I think he's going to head coach the Jets next year because he loves Aaron Rodgers.
Guys, my battery on my tablet's getting ready to go dead, so we got to get out of here. So I'll talk with you next time. Next afternoon game, post game, be right here live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Thank you, Bubba and Steve. See you guys
Anytime.
next time. Have a great
See you,
one.
Steve.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
See you, Bubba. See you, Ralph.
All right, Steve.